Spot News, where I'm your roast, Rusty Roverson. There's a 5-mile backup on the Garden State Parkway tonight.
It's a social studies class for 23rd year seniors.
What?
Don't backsass me, young man.
All right. What's your address?
Hello, Mr. Smith.
Have you arrived in Washington yet?
Bond issue in December?
Yeah.
All right.
Your cat did what, Mrs. Harris?
On a hot tin where?
Really? All right. Okay.
Listen, Mark, some crazy stuntman is going to try taking off in an airplane from the top of an automobile this afternoon out in the valley.
And it's not going to go too well, if you know what I mean.
Hold it, Jack. Take off from an automobile on a dirt road.
But I'm Herbert
Can you make it?
Hoover.
Well,
Be a good picture either way. I'll send Mac out with a snapper.
it's 40 miles out to the valley. We'll never make today's paper.
A wire photo will make it if they pull it by 4 o'clock. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe!
Turn a photographer down. Get started for the valley right away. Yeah, some guy's gonna...
Oh, they must think it'll go well if they sent a hearse to watch the stunt.
Speed, the life's blood of a newspaper. Speed, speed, speed.
Oh, this is the
Train,
prequel to
telegraph,
Downers,
airplane,
Downers, Downers.
telephone, and radio. Get the story.
Mess's Untouchables respond to reports of a speakeasy in Forest Grove.
Look, just because you strapped a plane to your car doesn't make you a pilot, Ron.
What time do you start, Marvin?
Right
Oh,
now.
it's your cousin, Marvin.
Better warm up the
Marvin
machine,
Limburg.
Ready for a hookup.
I've got my Tinder app ready.
Bro, you got my face, Ron!
Wait for me.
Honestly, the photographer on the roof is a little more interesting stunt to me.
And Earnhardt pulls into the lead.
Ride in comfort with Chevy's new shock-absorbing technology.
Best of luck, Miss Earhart.
I'm done with the Switch. You can play Animal Crossing now.
Give me this to rush.
Okay, lights out.
Every available development of science and engineering has been utilized to get the story to the reader in the shortest possible time. And now, the latest miracle of news gathering, sending pictures by wire,
Stag
has
films
lifted
beamed
the
across the
curtain on
country
a
in
new
mere
era
hours.
in newspaper history. Traveling almost as fast as the telephone story, wired photos now go across the continent with the speed of light.
Assuming Light is hungover and sleeps until 2 p.m.
Long-distance supervisor, I want a clear circuit to the Daily News for picture transmission. Please keep this line clear.
Here's the Daily News.
One ringy
Go ahead,
dingy.
please.
Wide world, wired
Hi,
photo.
this is Carlton, your doorman.
This is Mobile Unit number 1 in the valley. Ready with pictures of stunt
See, I didn't
car
know
and
you could use a
airplane.
lathe to transport the news.
Give
It's
me
the
your
Ecto
signal.
Containment Unit.
King me.
Although it took years to perfect, the technique of sending pictures by wire is comparatively simple. It's not a matter
But
of
first we need
sending
to
the
complete
whole
manufacturing
picture
this
at once,
Pashal candle.
but of separating the picture into fine lines, sending those lines over a wire, and assembling them at the other end. Let's suppose we have a picture or a pattern which we want to send to another location. And
But
the
first,
only
a
way to
catheter
send it is
demonstration.
through a small tube. For our purpose, we'll make this picture on closely wound string. Now, if we start at one end of the picture, taking it line by line or string by string in proper order, we can run the string through the tube.
Many thanks
and
to the
assemble
Amish
it
for
at the
teaching
other
us
end,
how to do this.
Line by line, until we again have the original pattern. That is exactly what we do in wired photo transmission. But we now take the picture apart electrically.
Electrically had 5
Translate it
syllables up
into
until
units we
1952.
can send over a wire. The units are lines, all of the same width, but of different tones of gray.
So it's a prequel
If
to
we
50
have a
Shades of
given
Grey?
number of lines in a given space, the tonal value of the page, the difference between dark gray and light gray, is determined by the density of the
Lorraine,
lines.
you're my density.
If the lines vary in density, they will form a pattern. Instead of changing lines into a pattern, wired photo transmission is simply a matter of breaking up the pattern or picture into lines.
We then cut these
This
lines with
process
baby
is called
laxatives.
scanning. A light is focused on the picture, And as the drum revolves, this light scans the picture from top to bottom on this line. At the same time, the drum is moving slowly along in front of the light, so that every part of the picture is scanned. If we stop the drum and look inside the case,
Oh wow, it's an
then
Orwellian
remove
nightmare
the condensing
hellscape.
and amplifying apparatus, leaving only the optical system.
Well, see,
We see
R2-D2
that
has already
as
hooked
this
himself
light
into it.
strikes each part of the picture, it is reflected back through a lens and an aperture. The
Your
aperture
father's
allows only
lightsaber.
1/100th of an inch of the picture to pass through at a time, so that the picture is scanned in fine lines.
Them fine lines.
The light that gets through the aperture goes into the photoelectric cell. This cell contains a plate made of a metal that has a distinct reaction to light.
It breaks out in hives.
Electric current will pass more freely through the plate when it is exposed to a lot of light.
Man, these early
Very
Laser
little
Floyd
electric
shows weren't
current
that
will
much
pass
fun.
through if the cell is dark.
No.
Therefore, when there is a white spot on the picture, a lot of light is reflected from it into the photoelectric cell, and a lot of current passes through the plate. If there is a dark spot on the picture,
Oh, they're scanning a picture of Joe
little or
Exotic.
no light is reflected from it onto the plate, and very little current will pass through it. The current is then radiated into the receiver of the telephone set, where the telephone coils pick up the energy or current.
Is that
and
a
send it
robotic
over the
Donald
line
Duck on the
to
right?
the wired photo receiving set.
Oh,
On the
my
receiving
barber clothes
machine,
broken.
these currents are then transferred into
I
corresponding
think that's the guy from
lines
American
on a
Gothic.
photographic negative wrapped on a similar drum. Let's stop this drum and look
But only
inside.
with its consent.
The light that reaches the negative comes from a neon tube into which our current has been fed. A neon tube is used because it will react more quickly to current than an ordinary tube.
Donald
With
Sutherland
lots of
in
current,
Ordinary
it
Tube.
immediately becomes bright, and with less current, the tube dims quickly. An opening on this machine, similar to the one on the sending machine, allows only a small amount of light to go through to the negative at one time. The whole story of wired photo transmission
Is there gonna
then
be a
is
test on
simply
this?
this. A lamplight scans the original picture. A white spot on the picture makes a lot of current. Lots of current makes lots of light on the receiving machine, and so exposes the negative more heavily at that point. A black spot on the picture reflects
It's unacceptable.
no light
Start
back
over.
into the photoelectric cell. No current passes over the telephone line. The neon tube remains dim, and the negative is not exposed.
And you wouldn't want the negative exposing
We
itself.
have merely unwound the original by lines in terms of lights and shadows, and wound it up again on the
By
negative.
giving it coffee and Red Bull.
You up the machine zippers down.
The negative now goes through the regular routine. It is developed and printed, and made into a half-tone engraving called
It's
a cut.
sanded down and cleaned thoroughly
Put
with
into
pine
the
salt.
form, it goes with the page to be made into a mat, then a mold, then a part of the roaring presses. Before the advent of wired photos,
Comes the
days
ordinary
were
time of
required
wired
to send
photos.
a picture from coast to coast by train, and hours by airplane. Now, it is only
They're
a matter of
delivering Fatty
minutes
Arbuckle's
after a
Grubhub
news event
order.
has occurred before newspapers all over the country are carrying pictures that tell the story more graphically and completely than the printed word.
Yeah.
Pictures
Titanic
sent
sinks,
from
great
any
loss of life.
location
Where's Gasoline
By
Alley?
simply picking up a telephone and calling
See,
the
back
paper.
then we thought we could get planes and cars to meet. I can't come back. I don't know how it works.
Put it all on black. Oh man, I can't find my Smuckers anywhere. I've got to come up with a better way to keep my jam handy.